Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Welcome to a brand new Fallout 76 camp. So today we are working with the new Triumph Track House Prefab, which in short is a version of the starting player home from Fallout 4. You know, from the prologue and where we do a character creation and all that. And this is not bad. It's pretty well done. There's a couple of small issues and potentially quite appealing if you don't really want to build and would rather just kind of furnish. So, having a look at where we are down in Skyline Valley once again, and this time I chose Skyline Valley more because the house is very, very clean. Not surprisingly, it's basically a pre-war building, and I was trying to find somewhere to place it that looked less post-apocalyptic, just so that this thing didn't look quite so out of place. It's really designed to go in a shelter that has also been released alongside this that looks a lot like a very clean Sanctuary Hills, also a flat Sanctuary Hills. But here we go, down in Skyline Valley. I think for the most part, this just looks like a weirdly modern 50s-esque, somehow both, home in a national park vibe area, and sort of given a bit of a wider view here so you can get an idea of how it works in the wider landscape. And yeah, it doesn't look totally like it belongs here, but it also doesn't quite look so much like a pre-war building in a post-apocalyptic setting, so it kind of struck a balance bit there. One of the cool things I am happy about with this is it gave me the opportunity to use the white picket fence, specifically the clean one, which I almost never get to use because it's so clean, but obviously with this prefab it works quite nicely. So I've got as close to the road as I can with the build area here. I can't get right up to it because with the upcoming Milepost Zero update they don't want people building their camps on the road. So this is about as close as we get. You kind of see with the edge of the stones there and stuff where the edge of the build area is. With the prefab and the fences as well bulldozing so much of the grass, I've tried to kind of put some of it back with some of the recent additions. Now we've got shrubs and grasses and things like that available, which helps sort of blend the line between build area and unbuilt area quite nicely, I think. But yeah, a few plants, a few shrubs and stuff, just kind of camouflage a little bit that transition. You can kind of see here, speaking of transitions, that the house is right on the very edge of the sort of central storm of Skyline Valley. When you actually move towards the edge of the building, the storm starts to dissipate because we move outside of the limits of it. But it kind of works depending where you're standing and blends in okay, I think. Got a few bits and pieces of sort of clutter, I think is a good word there, for giving that kind of homely, somebody lives here vibe. I do think this front door is the wrong way round, though. I don't mind the colour, that's fine, but I wish it opened inward the opposite from the other side, you know? I think it's really designed to open outwards, which many of the doors are in 76, but it's not really what I want for a home like this. So as you can see, I've tried to evoke the feel of the house from before the bombs drop in Fallout 4. There are some differences, because we don't have all the necessary same furniture, and in terms of the availability of clean furniture, it's a bit lacking in some ways. We've got the right vibe, I think. I've managed to squeeze a few bits and pieces in that have that pre-war feel and giving it a reasonably clean, homely look. Which if you want something that's kind of easy to build, you can kind of drop this prefab in quite easily and then decorate it up with whatever you have available. It works quite nicely for a build along those lines. And I think it's got that nice kind of nostalgia vibe of Fallout 4, but also kind of all the essentials of Fallout 76 in it. So this corner of the building comes with this rubber mat flooring already in place, which kind of implies this is where the kitchen's got to go. It's where the kitchen was in Fallout 4. You could also put a crafting space in here that would work quite well with the rubberized flooring as well, I think. Obviously, I've tried to get that Fallout 4 vibe going on, so I decided to go with the kitchen. Use the Tipsy Tom set there to get the breakfast bar going in the middle there, the island. And I'm not quite sure why that's flickering a little bit there, considering everything's just snapped together nice and easily, but it is what it is. Yasmin's moving through the table because I used the flamethrower to destroy it so I could get the chairs to sit a bit closer. But it does look tidier that way, even if her animations get a bit weird. A little bit of clipping with some of the furniture there and that display case, but on the whole it works okay. So Yasmin's decided she wants my doors open again, which is very helpful of her. Here we have the bathroom, and once again, with the sort of rubber flooring, I think I could probably have used this as a crafting space if I wasn't trying to go so Fallout 4, and that would have worked quite nicely, but I went with the way I did. It's kind of got the vibe of the place in Fallout 4, the bathroom where you make your character at the start of the game. But we don't have a medicine cabinet, we don't have the same sink arrangement available at the moment, so I've kind of done what I can to evoke that, but limited tools. On the whole, it works okay. This room and a couple of others actually kind of capture one of the issues that there is with this prefab, in the contrast between clean and sort of scrappier stuff that we have available. It means that if you go too cluttered, which really works for a scrappy kind of post-apocalyptic build, it's going to contrast weirdly with the cleanness in this build. But if you don't put enough, it kind of looks like you haven't got enough, which is a bit of a challenge. I'm about maybe a fifth of the build budget left at this point. It's pretty full. So this room here was basically the laundry room and also where Codsworth's box was in Fallout 4. I am pretty darn sure this actual prefab, this room is a little bit bigger. But this end of the house, these sort of 4 rooms, are a little bit different to the house in Fallout 4. Here I've just made this one into my sort of brewing and chemistry room. That works okay for that. I was originally thinking of trying to make it my main crafting space, but it's just not quite big enough, really. I went for the curtain door, because with that functionality, it doesn't look too bad, and it's a bit easier with the curtain. I would have had a curtain door on the bathroom, but that really feels off, you know. So I went with the wooden door. Moving on down here, you can sort of see at the end, there would be a cupboard there in Fallout 4. It's not there in this particular prefab, and it also affects the 2 bedrooms, this one on the right, which would have been Sion's room, and the master bedroom on the other side. So there would be cupboards in those that are not present in this prefab. So the whole thing kind of skews a little bit down this end compared to Fallout 4, which is fine, it works and it looks good. But if something seems a little off to you compared to it, that's probably why. So this would have been Sion's bedroom in Fallout 4, and I've decided to make it my crafting space here because I don't need a second bedroom. And I do need a crafting space, and this one's big enough to fit pretty much everything in. Again, I've tried to combine the not too over busy look that the clean prefab kind of calls for with the basically scrappy looking workbenches and furniture that I have available for building a crafting room with. There's a bit of a contrast there that's a bit of a challenge. I don't have a clean workbench. I don't have a clean, for the weapons that is, I don't have clean armor bench and so on. So everything's always going to look a little bit like a bit of a weird contrast. But functionality-wise, this room works quite well. I do like having that display, the weapon display on the back of the weapons bench, so that works quite well. I like that look. We had a bit of an issue here. You can see I've got a couple of posters there that sunk into the wall, and I can't get them back out again. So I dropped the Aguirre one on that doesn't sink in. For some reason, that spot and a couple of others around do have this issue with certain items sinking into them. Not every item either, as you see, but some do. Didn't really know what to do with the end of the corridor here, but the little iguana tank, I suppose, fits really nicely between the walls. It's a tight squeeze, but it does go in without too much difficulty. So tuck that in there. Obviously you can activate it and make the iguana wander around a little bit, which is an old Fallout First thing. I say old, it was earlier this year. It's a really cool little ad, that. Obviously looks a little bit beaten up for this house, but options, you know. Quite happy with how the master bedroom turned out, though. We've got a little bit of a desk and writing space in the corner there. I love that alien headlamp. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Doesn't put out a vast amount of light, which is good, really, because green light everywhere would be a bit weird, but I do think it's fun. I'm quite happy to have that. This bed I chose because it's one of the few pre-war style options that we have available. I managed to fit those lamps on quite nicely. I was quite happy about that. The actual design of that bed is absolutely hideous. Just not a criticism of the design team or anything. It's based on a real-world object, and the real-world object is hideous. It's in terms of having the right kind of pre-war, right era furniture going in there, options are a smidge on the limited side, so that's why I chose that one. And I think it does work with the space, so quite happy with that. I do wish we had blinds or curtains that fit these windows, but we don't. All of the ones we've got are too small, so had to go without there, which is not ideal, but I do quite like that I've managed to get this kind of very much that track housing vibe that the prefab and the houses around, say, Sanctuary Hills and stuff gave in the pre-war scenario. Very much a comes in on the back of a lorry and a load of panels and they just kind of bolt the panels together vibe. Not that I know if that's particularly accurate, but you see where I'm going with it. And I think the decor in there has kind of captured that vibe. So I've got a little car there, got the bike beside it, which I quite like as well. I'm glad we've got that. Decided to squeeze my vending out here under the carport, along with the power armor stand, as you can see. And as far as places to put that goes, I think that makes the most sense. A little bit of flat ground there, so I've decided to drop the field dressing station in over there with a couple of accoutrements to dress it up with. And then I've got my food supply when I need it. I put the market sign on the back wall there because if you fast travel to this house, because of the way it's placed and the way I dropped the camp unit in, you actually appear behind the house, actually near the Nuka-Cola van you'll see in a second. Gotta have my Collectron, speaking of Nuka-Cola, and my shelter entrance as well. There you go, that van there, you appear over by that, so as soon as you're going to see the back of the house first, if you're looking for the vendor, that makes it a lot easier to find. But there we go. I actually do quite like this prefab, and I quite like that it's red rather than blue. It's a bit different. A few differences from the Fallout 4 one. Hard to fit it in to the Fallout 76 vibe, but it does come together quite well, I think. And if you happen to have the shelter, it'll look a lot less out of place there. There we go. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, please consider dropping subs and likes. I very much appreciate. Down below the video, we've got social media links, merch store, and channel memberships as well. If you'd like to support the channel that way, I very, very much appreciate it. And join us for live streams to get the chance as well. We are, of course, playing Fallout 76. We've got Fallout London on the go at the minute as well. That's been really good fun. And we're playing a little bit of Stalker, if you'd like to join us for that. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.